The story begins when an adventurer party eagerly stands in front of a door as Saito prepares to pick a lock inside the dungeon. The old wizard is a bit doubtful, but he assures him of his skills as he removes his lock-picking kit. The others have never seen such equipments before. He starts to work on the lock. And after some intense wiggling he gets it open to their shock. He pushes it further, and they see that there is another door. So he gets to work again, but to his surprise it doesn't open. Morlock tests it and understands that a magic seal has also been put on the door. He breaks the spell simultaneously as Saito works on the lock. Allowing them to gain easy pass, the party enters in enthusiasm when they saw a treasure box. He starts to open at lock 2, as he feels fulfilled for the first time. With a flashback we see that Saito in his own world, where he used his lock-picking to help Elay to enter her home. When she lost her house key, however, she does not value his skills. She feels that he's charging her too much for that kind of easy work. Saito stands she did not stand the difficulty, because if it was so easy then his service wouldn't be needed. Now in the present, he tries to open the treasure lock. As he opens the chest he's met with a nasty surprise. When the mimic tries to bite his face off, Saito falls back as it continues to attack. Realza steps in and cut it down with her giant sword in a single blow. Then she asks Saito if he is okay, but her helmet comes loose. He saw that and offers to fix it. She reluctantly takes it off but is shy for him to see her face. She's impressed with his blacksmith skills. Saito reveals that he's a handyman. So he has a huge number of skills, from fixing bags to looking for lost dogs. After that not so fruitful raid they make their way out of the dungeon and back to the open field. As they rest Saito questions Realza about Morlock, because he doesn't live up to his reputation as a grey wizard. The old guy is off by himself, spaced in his world. The knight confirms that he's over level 80, but there is a big disparity with the party since she is a level 41. Laughing Pan the fairy is level 35, and Saito is level 8. Despite the old man's high level he's extremely forgetful, so he often forgets his incantations. There have been countless times this weakness has caused the party problem, like transporting to the wrong location. Can't remembering that he's part of the party in the funniest one. Forgetting that he's alive, so he decides to run with a pack of zombies. All those times Realza and Laugh and Pan saved him. The fairy points out that his condition is comprehensible given his traumatic past. They explained that a long while ago their whole party got wiped out, leaving only Morlock. Realza died too. The old man dragged their coffins to the surface to bring them back to life. He sold all their weapon and tools, and went to the church for help, but for some strange reason he didn't sell Realza's bikini armor, but wore it instead. She tries to ask him why he did that, but can't able to remember. He's forgotten the answer. They carry on with their travels. When Morlock pulls his back, Laughing Pan is the party healer, but her services come at a cost. She charges the old man to recover him up. Saito notices that she struggles to carry her money because of her size, so he decides to make a bag for her. She wanted to pay, but he asks her to heal the old man's back. That will pay. Later on Saito discovers when he is fixing Realza's armor that in this kingdom they use the king's sausage size as their standard measurement, which he finds a little strange. Somewhere else Gibungle the dwarf magician showcases his special ability to absorb the heat from his enemies' attacks and releases it as an explosion that destroys everything. He tries to come off as a hardened man, but he's a softie who travels with a cute dog companion. In another place Jibble and Liliza take a break after reaching the 30th floor of their dungeon. They realize that they are in the demon realm, so from that point going attack magic will be ineffective. The duo look over to their weapons because strengthening magic has to be cast on them so that they can brawl their way through the rest of their journey. As they prepare to leave, it is unraveled that Liliza is rather the wielder of the giant axe as she effortlessly swings it. Before they go on into the darkness, during that time, the party has arrived at a town and Saito makes his way to a weapons store to do some business. The shop attendant is impressed that he can use an abacus as he does some calculations. They are interrupted when Realza disguises herself in a different armor. But Saito recognizes her immediately. She gets embarrassed and leaves the shop with her head down. Laughing Pan wonders why she didn't just tag along normally. A few days later an adventurer comes to the shop to sell a dagger and demonstrates how special it is to the attendant. She's impressed with its performance and after a quick haggle they agree on the price. The guy leaves thinking he's duped her, since he changed the appearance and stats of the weapon by using magic. In reality it is a dull rusted blade he found in a dungeon. But it is later revealed that at first glance the blade looks dull, but it is a dummy and it's actually the sheath. The real blade is mithril silver, and on the low end it's estimated to be more than 10 times the price she paid for it. Ryalza lingers outside the shop as Saito and the assistant inspect it. Later on, the party set off to explore another dungeon. The handyman gets startled when some monsters suddenly appear to attack. Morlock steps in the way hero style to take them out, but he ends up forgetting the incantation again as he struggles to remember. The monster prepares to take him out, but Ryalza comes to the rescue and defeats it with a swift attack. Laughingpan notices that she has an intense worry for Saito's well-being. The knight has noticed that Morlock has been forgetting too much these days, and suggests he retires, but the old-timer is certain that they still need him. All the while Saito comes to the realization that he's a burden. Se pleads with Morlock to teach him magic. The party later enter another dungeon where they're attacked by a swarm of creatures. Ryalza showcases her powers as she carves her way through them, but their numbers are too many. Morlock steps up, intending to deal some aerial damage to dispatch them, but he forgets his incantation again, since he has been teaching Saito magic after their last raid. The handyman reminds him of the incantation, which allows him to blow them all away with a powerful fire spell. Ryalza is impressed that Saito memorized the spells. He reveals that during the training they found out that he doesn't have any magic power, so he thought the least he could do was memorize them in case the old man forgets. All the while Laughingpan heals the wizard's back as he has pulled it again during the fight. The group finally reached the end of the dungeon where the chest stands before them. But Morlock complains because it is a magic-resistant area. The handyman gets to work, but he activates a trap causing him to fall through the ground, where he wakes up in some water after falling unconscious. He notices his leg is broken and flinches in pain as he tries to move it. With no hope inside, he lays back in the water. The others would find it difficult to reach him, because it's a magic-neutral area and the hull is too deep for them to throw a rope down. He looks at the fact he's a hired hand, so he feels like he's expendable, therefore they will not come for him. The handyman thinks back to how undervalued he was at the company he worked for back in his world. Just as he loses his hope, his homies come to find him. He alerts them that he thought they abandoned him, but they assure him that that would never happen as they all leave the cave together. Some time has passed since Saito's accident. He has fully healed and is back to being a functional member of the party. As they confront a multi-headed eel inside a swamp with the confidence of Ryalza as backup, he faces his sword in hand ready to attack. But a scream from the knight draws his attention. She has her back turned to the monster. While on her knees, Morlock explains that Ryalza has a phobia of slimy things. He has no other option but to charge himself. Luckily for him, the wizard remembers his spell, which holds the creature in place, allowing the handyman to get handsy with the eel as he slashes it, to prevent the wizard's back from getting injured. Laughingpan also performs some continuous healing on him till Saito defeats the monster. The old-timer makes payment to the fairy for the support, but the handyman surprises everyone when he reveals that they are taking some back with them to cook. Ryalza looks mortified at the thought. He explains the process of cooking, while Watch and they start to open up to the idea of trying it. When he finishes, the wizard and the fairy hesitatingly take a bite and are surprised by how delicious it is. Laughingpan gets Ryalza to try it by highlighting the fact that her crush made it. She gives it a try and loves it, eating more than everyone else. After feasting, the party get right back to dungeon driving, and Saito is well versed with the different traps and treasure chests. This latest one is read from his assessment, so he informs everyone that they're going to lead it. They later reach another one and the mechanism for the traps are visible. So the handyman decides to disable it, but he cuts the wrong wire, causing acid to pour into Ryalza's armor. It dissolves, and Saito becomes a bit shy when he gets a glimpse of the knight's natural form. All the while at a different dungeon, Fran Lil, who's an elf, fights through wards of monsters while Nania the priestess gives her support with healing magic and fortification. But it is revealed that the priestess has sus reasons for wanting to heal the elf. Elsewhere, a monarch posts a notice that his kingdom needs heroes because of the demon king assaults, but he gets no response. The old king decides to take the matter into his own hands and goes solo to defeat the demon king. During his absence, one of his generals tries to perform a coup, but the king's advisor quells the unrest by turning the bad actors into stone. The king returns to see the aftermath. He's back with the demon monarch as his friend. Meanwhile, back with the group, it is revealed to Saito why Laughingpan loves gold so much. Her people have been cursed by the moon spirit, so they must make gold offerings to it, or they will start to shrink. If offerings are not given within 5 years, they turn smaller than a grain of sand. The handyman is moved by the story, so on their next mission, he finds more excuses to have Laughing pay and use her power on him, so that he pays. He finally opens the chest, but the handyman and Realza get transported to a different location. They come across an iron golem. Realza initially puts up a good fight till she's knocked down, which weakens her. Saito notices this and engages the golem. When he pours some acid from their previous expedition on it, this creates an opening for the knight to finish it with a decisive cut. But the handyman gets mortally wounded. During the process, Realza is forced to use a special potion to revive him, which she administers through a kiss. He wakes up healed and reunited with the rest of the party. Laughing Pan teases him that Realza specially saved him, but he is oblivious to the details. So today up to this, please subscribe and leave a like. I will be back with another recap.